Good morning, bowls buddies. Welcome to a wonderful Friday morning and another episode of Ask Andy. Yes, Freddie is back. I can't resist it now. I think he has. The spirit of Freddie Mercury has entered me. Anyway, good morning. Thanks for joining me. Beautiful sunny day. Can't wait to get out there and play a bit of golf. So good morning. Thanks. If you like the video, please press the like button. If you're not already a member of this wonderful channel of ours, hit the subscribe button and become a bowls buddy. And hit that notification bell to get notifications of new content on the channel. So, good morning again. I have to start with a massive apology. I never got to the greens at Eaton Park. After we finished on Tuesday, I was absolutely knackered. And I mean knackered. I could hardly walk. It's the first time I've played 18 holes for a long time, and I forgot how steep those hills were. So many apologies. It is on my list of things to do, and I will endeavour to do it next week. I have some free time to go and pay it a visit. And before I move on, that's something I want to ask you all. I'd love to know what you would like to see on the channel. I'm conscious that viewing figures have dropped quite significantly in the last month or so. Now, I've put that down to the fact that you can actually go out and play bowls again and actually leave the house for a bit. But I'd like to try and get numbers back up if I can. Obviously, I've got these Ask Andys, I've got the Waterloo weigh-in, and I've got the Monday vlog. But I'd happily do more. And I just wondered what you might like to see. I'm hoping to go and get around a few greens when bowls starts back up again. But really, I'm happy to be guided. I can take my camera anywhere and I can talk rubbish wherever, really. So just drop us a line, comment below what you'd like to see. I mean, the videos I've got of the old bowls stuff, I've probably got another month maybe before I run out of that anyway, so I'm going to have to fill the channel somehow. So just put a comment below and just tell me what you'd like to see more of. If you'd more of me waffling on, fantastic. If you want to see me get out and about, I'll try and do that as well, so please comment below. Also, I've noticed the last couple of days on Facebook some very sad sights indeed with the reopening of pubs. A lot of greens are at risk now that are attached to pubs because they want as much open space as they possibly can. And I've already seen photos of greens with picnic tables on, which is a dreadful sight. I've seen it on so many greens over the years. And I think bowls is going to face a little bit of a crisis if we're not careful. Maybe it's the wake-up call that not only we need as players and members of clubs, but also, you know, the governing body that then maybe need to be a bit more proactive in trying to protect the greens that we have. I know there was a member of Parliament a few years ago trying to get a bill through that would stop bowling greens disappearing. I had no idea how that went or what legal things there are in place to stop bowling greens being built on or used as picnic areas or whatever, al fresco dining areas, I think they're calling them now. So I think, you know, it's a massive wake-up call. We have had bowls very cheap for an awful long time. You know, people moaning about maybe paying 20 quid or 30 quid for a membership of a bowls club. You know, maybe we should be thinking three figures. Maybe 100 quid isn't an unreasonable amount. But, you know, at the end of the day, it's up to us whether we pay it or not. So, I think we've got an interesting few weeks and months ahead. I can see a lot of greens going if we're not careful. If you are a member of a green next to a pub, you know, do you use the pub? I know a lot of greens where clubs play on them, but they don't actually use the facilities of the pub. So, you know, it doesn't make sense to me. But, you know, please try and support the pubs if you've got a bowling green next to it. Bowling clubs, the same. They need your support in the next weeks and months to try and keep going. I know most bowling clubs actually done quite well out of the coronavirus situation, £10,000 grants here and there. So really, they shouldn't be struggling, but you know, they still need you to use their facilities, buy a few pints, and hopefully they'll get through it all. So that's enough of my part of political broadcast. Just to say that I've been looking at joining a golf club, and the cheapest full membership I can find within a 10-mile radius of myself is £850. So that sort of puts things into perspective for me. My club at Thongsbridge, I think I've paid £50 maybe this year, £40, I can't just remember, and I used to pay £30 at Gaggles. And I know a lot of people wouldn't be prepared to pay that much, so that just shows how far we are behind sports like golf, for instance. Anyway, enough of that. That's not what today's about. I'm trying not to be controversial, to be honest, after last week. I got asked a question ages ago, and I put off answering it because I don't want to sound big-headed, basically. Dave Parkin, I think the guy's called. He wants to know what my biggest achievement in bowls is. And I'm sure you're all like, Waterloo. And I suppose, yeah, the biggest competition I've ever won is the Waterloo, 1997. 2,048 entries, full ground for the final. Probably one of the last few years it was, a 2,048. And massive interest. It was never captured on film, unfortunately, which is something that I'll have to live with because I'll never be able to relive it. But yeah, that's by far and away the biggest competition I've won. I've been fortunate enough to have achieved an awful lot in bowls, and I think if I died tomorrow, I'd have to be happy with what I've done, because there's an awful lot who won't have achieved anywhere close to what I've achieved. Of course, I pale into insignificance compared to the likes of Graham Wilson, Gary Ellis, Callum Ray, Glyn Cookson, Tommy Johnson, etc., etc., etc. And those are the players who are still playing. I know I've never been a prolific winner of open competitions. I think the best I ever did was 5 maybe in a season, and that was at the time when Lee Lawton, Gary Ellis and Graham Wilson were winning 13 or more in a season. So whilst I'll never achieve those heights, at least I did used to win things. I've won over 100 competitions in my career. I've also been very lucky to play for some fantastic clubs, and started off at Edgeside in Rosendale, moved to Syke and Walsden, played for Sale Excelsior, Budenbergs, Morton House, Tong, played for a team called New Street at Littleborough, and I'm currently at Thongsbridge, and I also used to play for Gaggles, and I've been fortunate at every club I've been at. We've had success, some, local success, but we've won national competitions and Super Cups and leagues and all the rest of it, and I'm very, very fortunate to have been part of some fantastic teams and played with some fantastic players and got some fantastic memories. I've won the 2-man team with Stuart Moore 2 years running back in the day, which took some doing. One of the best comps ever that used to be. Another comp that's gone, unfortunately. Been part of county winning teams. I've played, I think it's 92 games now for between Manchester and North Lancs. Whether I'll get to 100 is another matter. I suppose it depends if I start bowling again. I think the thing that gave me most pleasure was actually winning the Waterloo Mixed Pairs with Karen a couple of years ago. Karen was a great player. She didn't know it though. And I don't think she'd ever had the encouragement for her to achieve a potential. And it got to the point where I would rather have watched Karen bowl than myself. And given the right encouragement, she turned into a very good player, turned into a county player, played for Yorkshire, I don't know, maybe a dozen times. Unfortunately, when she moved over to Rosendale, she packed that in because she wanted to play in the home team but couldn't give the practice time. But she had this really easy delivery and she could reach for the corners and no, really good player when she had her head on, which wasn't all the time. But to win the Waterloo Mixed Pairs with her, I remember how delighted she was, and it certainly ranks as one of the happiest memories I've had in the game. We won a couple of things actually. We won the North Lancs Mixed Pairs and we won the Rosendale Parks. Lost in the final of the Yorkshire Mixed Pairs one year as well. So that's the happiest thing I've ever won. But biggest achievement, and the one I take the most pride over, is the work I did with Mel Evans on the commentary. And I think if you'd have said to me when I was a snotty 17-year-old, you know, in your 40s, you're going to actually be the voice of Crane Green Bowls on whatever it is you're on, ITV4, Sky, BT Sports, live streaming. I think that's the thing that's given me the most pride, and I'd have been amazed if you'd have said that was gonna happen. It came out of the blue. I had no idea that I was able to do it. Didn't know I had the ability. And people think, oh, it's easy, you're just talking about the game. And have a go. It's amazingly difficult actually thinking about what you're wanting to say, how you want to phrase it without crossing any boundaries. Because I know a lot of lads would use phrases that wouldn't be allowed on national television. We'll leave it there. But yeah, I think doing the ITV4 Waterloo coverage, I think that was the pinnacle for me, the biggest achievement for me, and the one I look back on with a lot of pride and a lot of happy memories, and also being able to keep these memories for the future. You know, that's partly why I'm doing this YouTube channel, so that they're not lost forever. And they're all there for you to watch. So that's my biggest achievement in bowls, actually putting something back into the game with the commentary, with this YouTube thing, and it's something I'll look back on very, very fondly during the winter months, probably, when I'm not out golfing, of course. So that's all for this week. Pretty straightforward one for you there, although I've probably upset somebody. Somebody will get upset. That's what I'm here for, though. So enjoy your weekend. It's going to be absolutely beautiful. Get out on the bowling greens and whatever else it is you do on a weekend these days. Who knows? I'll be going to the driving range probably. So guys, stay at home. But if you're not going to stay at home and you're going on the green, stay safe. And I'll see you on the other side.